Hi everyone, Mark Wycliffe is here, and my course, Psytrance Production and Sound Design, is finally ready after a very long time, and after detailed planning and changing the scripts, and the whole program was written after I got a lot of insights from doing in-person courses on Cambridge. We did 3 of them, and also the one from the Boomland, which I did this year. And after all of these courses, I understood the problems of the people that are trying to gain skills for producing the Psytrance way better. So the script is written very well, and the first part of the course is done pretty academically, where I explain the base understanding of the sound, how it works, the waveforms, the difference between sine and saw, the phases, the whole signal flow, and what you should do in order to get the best sounding results for your production. So after this first part and the base understanding of the sound itself, I moved to designing the drum elements, like the kick, the bass line, where all of this information from the first part of the first section of the course have a really big value, as after I start designing the kick. And the main difference between my previous courses and this one is that my previous course, Psychedelic Tips Vol 3, was focused on writing the whole process of creating the full track from the beginning till the end. And in this process, even though it's really good to see that whole process, it is kinda in one way or one-way street, since I wrote a one track, and that track have a specific emotion and specific happenings, and each of decision makings was leading the track to go in a certain direction. And that's why in this course you were able to see only one type of the tracks and its development. While in this course I tried to widen up the whole picture. I worked in a various different BPMs. I did 138, 140, 142 and even 145, where I explained all the things that are important for creating a certain emotions, certain energy levels, as well, since the production, I mean by that, as a central figure of doing all of the steps in order to create a one track, which include the sound design, writing, arranging, and other things. So I did try to go in a wider range and explain, like, in every single decision making is going to lead to a certain way, and then how we can change and what we can do if we want to create a specific different styles of our tracks. So once I started designing the kicks and the foundation knowledge about how to synthesize, how to process, then I moved to how you can adjust or change them in order for your tracks to get a different emotion. What are the key characteristics for nighttime music? What are the key characteristics for designing the drum elements for full-on, for progressive, for deep prog, etc, etc. So in this course there's a variety of knowledge for different occasions or different emotions, different energetic levels of a track, and how you can achieve a different psychoacoustic effect in your tracks. When it comes for the tools, I kind of tried to be as narrow as possible, and I use mostly Omnisphere and Serum. For drums, I use the bass for Rapture, even though I explained how you can create them in Vital, Serum, Rapture, and other VST instruments. But the key concept for this is that you are able to do a lot with just a few VST instruments such as Omnisphere and Serum. And again, I used also Kick 2 for designing my kick drum. For processing, I use third-party plugins, mostly are FabFilter and Waves plugins, which I mostly use for my production. And beside that, I did use some other VST instruments like delays and reverbs, which I believe most of you already have. And if you even don't, you will be able to see their power. And in general, there's not much of the tools that have been used, and I showed what are the key characteristics and why do I believe these instruments are very good for your production. So after the kick and the bass, of course, I moved to the hi-hats and everything. I did show you where you can find the great sources, how you can synthesize all these elements, and where you can find the great samples for doing that, like Splice and Loop Cloud. Also, I'll explain in this course. And beside that, after that I moved to the single shot sounds, where I use Omnisphere mostly for atmospheres and textures and certain single shot elements. And beside that, I used a lot Serum to sound design, synthesize and process all the files that you can use for your music. Besides 16 hours already written material, there are also 2 templates which are designed by me. Like, one is 145 in E note and another is in 140 in a G note, which I believe are 2 really good start points for you. and as well you will have a lot of information how you can customize all of them. But besides that, the templates are very good for you to have, as you will be able to have something to reference, as after dropping all of these templates in your project, you will be able to start replicating or use the video material and the knowledge from the course and try to replace all of these files, and that way create your custom templates that will be sounding really well. So beside these drum templates, which come in a wave format, there's also a Serum pack, which is full with the presets that I was making during this course and some of my previous works that I saved, as that is something that you will be able to learn and see how do I synthesize all of them, how do I process them, and what are the things that you can do in order to customize them in a way, and how you can use for your own production. I also focused on a lot of tips and tricks when it comes for the arrangement. So what are the key points if you want to get a specific outcome of the track, if you want it to be energetic, what are the things you should be really paying your attention to and being careful about, like how you can control the energy level of a track, what are the common mistakes that you should avoid in order to not spoil the energy of the track, what you should do in order to create a specific emotion of a track, how to customize the already made files for gaining a different psychoacoustics effect. So I try to focus on a wide range of outcomes and meet your needs for the specific outcome of your desires for your own production. So beside all the 16 hours that are already up and running, I will be adding the content, and this course will be dynamic, as I will be adding a lot of content after I understand what is missing and after I start gathering the feedback from all of you. So I will try to cover as wide range as possible of all possible outcomes, different emotions, different energetic levels of the tracks, and also the psychoacoustics effects that you want to produce in your own music. So if you really want to learn the details about professional Psytrance music production and the sound design, enroll now, and this course will provide a lot of information for you. I'm quite certain about it, since I invested a lot of time in planning and writing the script, and this course is definitely my best course done so far. So enroll now and understand the secrets and all the key points of the Psytrance music production and the sound design.